Hey guys, my name is Mabel, and I want to share an experience that happened to me in secret and behind the scenes. And what happened to me, I've never really heard anyone else talking about this stuff. I've never heard of anyone being attacked in this manner. So I'm really interested to see if anyone has ever experienced this kind of spiritual warfare behind the scenes in secret. So this happened to me right after I had a vision while I was watching TV, and it lasted 34 minutes, and I was just completely shocked and blown away. When I came out, it was nice and quiet. When I paused the TV, it was so quiet and calm. And I came to the living room. I grabbed some paper and a pen. I said, I gotta write this stuff down. I gotta write. And I was sitting down when I had the vision. I wasn't laying down or anything. I was sitting down watching TV. So I started to write, and the first thing that came out of my mouth, I looked up. I said, Lord, why nobody told me I had sisters? I said, Purity died and resurrected. She birthed a new realm and four cherubims. And when I said that, it was just unbelievable how much I was attacked. It's like me saying that out loud. It's like every evil spirit, every demonic entity, their ears just went up, and they was like, it almost felt like they just wanted me. And these demons that just started to manifest, they started attacking my back, like doing something that was making my back hurt. And I got up. Yeah, it was so much. I couldn't write. I couldn't continue writing the vision. They didn't let me. The demons attacked me so much that I couldn't even write straight. I couldn't even write one sentence because I would think of something and the enemy would steal my thought. And it was just so hard to write these visions down. So I got up, and I kid you not, man, these things, you could feel like their presence brushing against me. Like it almost felt like they were trying to go through me and then come out. Like you could really feel their presence coming in me and then out, or pushing me. And it will stop me in my tracks as I was walking. I went to my room. I said, okay, they're not going to let me write the visions. I went to my room, and when I was in my room, I sat down, and I started to feel these darts on my back, almost like little needles, like acupuncture machines. Like, I don't know, just like little shots on your back going on my back. And I was like, Jesus, what is that? What are they doing to me? What is it? And my blood inside me started circulating. Like you could feel my blood just like, it felt like, you ever seen those blood tubes when they got to put it in a transfusion machine and spin it in a circle so it could go zzz? That's what my blood felt like inside. It felt like my blood was circulating, going all over the place. And it just felt like it was in a transfusion machine. And then I started to feel like something pulling me up from the ceiling, like pulling me up. Like if the ceiling could have a magnet and I had metal, that's what it felt like. It felt like something was just pulling on me from the ceiling, like stretching. My body felt like it was stretching. My body. I have no reason to make this stuff up. This is real life. This is the reason why I'm doing this. I want to see if anyone out there that knows about the spiritual world, about the dark, just whoever ever encountered warfare in this manner. I have never encountered. This thing was shocking to me, that it felt like they were stretching my body. And I felt like a supernatural crown be placed on my brain. I don't know if you ever felt a presence or spirit or anything on you. I'm telling you, it felt like a supernatural crown, like a metal plate was put on my brain. And it felt so heavy on my brain. I was just like, what is that? You know, why does my brain feel that? I heard, I can trust you to hold it. And I was like, I don't like it. I don't like it. It made me feel big, like I was bloated, like my brain was enlarging or something. I don't know. It was so weird. It was so weird. I was like, I really don't like this thing. I had received revelation that they were trying to clone me and make a copy of my brain. But my brain felt like it was just enlarging, and getting bigger and bigger. And I know people call this like the third eye, but it felt like something here was trying to pop out and come out of my brain. It literally felt like my brain was expanding. So much to the point that I had to grab a headband, put it over my head, tighten it really tight to keep my brain from expanding or this whatever was here trying to come out. So I covered it, I tightened it with a headband. So to keep my head from expanding. This thing was like, it was like something trying to come out from here. What else? It just felt like my body was being stretched in and out from like this small little body to like this big enlarged body. And even like my furniture, it seemed like it was bigger, like it had been stretched out because the atmosphere kept shifting. It kept shifting from this heaven atmosphere where everything looked so nice and clean and big. And it would look really pretty and like nice and clean, and I'm OCD clean. I love my stuff clean. And then it would switch and shift to like this demonic atmosphere where everything would look dirty and small. It was so weird though. But this thing hurt. These darts in my back that were like just on my back, hitting me on my back. And this thing was so painful. It hurt. It literally felt like my body was stretching to big to small, to big to small. And I was crying. I was on the floor crying like a baby, like, yo, this stuff hurts. Please stop it. Please stop it. This thing hurts. I called out, I prayed, I called out to the Father. I said, please stop this pain. The human body is not designed to handle this much pain. You know what I mean? Like, this is stuff you hear in movies. This is stuff that, I don't know, like the scene, let's say X-Men, Wolverine. Remember, his claws used to be made out of bone, and then they did an experiment on him, and then to put metal into him, and he had to go through so much pain. So I'm just using that as an example that my body felt like, I don't know if it was being upgraded, if I was being enlarged or what, but this stuff was not normal. I had no idea that this stuff could happen in real life. Like you see this kind of stuff probably in movies and stuff like that, but never in a million years I ever thought any supernatural pain could happen to me like that. It was really crazy, really, really crazy. It felt like they were really trying to harness my energy, or I was being upgraded or something, because there was a point where, see, most people probably won't even believe me, but when I looked in the mirror, my eyes turned orange. Yo, it scared me, and I backed away. I backed away from the mirror. It scared me. And then I was like, all right, let me do it. I went to look again in the mirror. And when I looked, they turned orange again. And I was like, oh, but this time I stood still. I was like, what on earth is going on with me just looking in the mirror? Like I could, I mean, my first impression was like, oh my God, Jesus is inside me. Because the only time you hear orange eyes is when they talk about him in scripture. So I was like, oh my God, Jesus is inside of me. He's inside of me. And then this thing continued for like 2 weeks of me being attacked, of the atmosphere shifting from heaven atmosphere to demonic assignment. It happened so much. And my back hurt so much. Like it was pain on my back that it was just like I had to lay down. I had took my Bible, I opened it, put it on my back and laid down because I knew there's power in the word. To see if the power from the word I could somehow observe it from the Bible. I grabbed my other Bible, my second Bible, opened it, put it on my stomach to see if the attacks would stop. And it did work. It did work. The attacks stopped. And I was able to catch my breath, to catch some air. And finally, I think I put a post on social media, on Facebook, asking for prayer because that I was being attacked by entities in my apartment. It was really crazy. It was really, really crazy. I never experienced stuff like that before. But it lasted 2 weeks. From that asking for prayer, things did calm down. My brother called me. He booked me a flight to go to Florida for 2 weeks. And that's when it finally got still and things calmed down. And I was able to write the visions after things calmed down. But yeah, it was crazy. When I was in Florida and I was sitting down, I would sit down thinking for hours about what happened to me in secret behind closed doors. And I was never the same person. I changed. I changed completely. As it's like I went from being this normal human being, being a part of the world, to being so connected to God and the universe, trying to understand what happened to me in secret. I was never the same person. So that's pretty much it. I didn't want to make this video too long because I know, but I want to see anybody out there, have you guys ever experienced this kind of stuff? Please share with me. My email is on the description. It's also on the about me section. Just to be friends, we could talk about it, share stories. I would like to know if others have experienced this kind of stuff. All right. Love you guys. God bless. One love.